What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this conversation about Wendy and Eddie Osefo. So I really contemplated on whether or not I was even going to do a video about this because I felt like everything that needed to be said was already said by Friday evening. And I felt like I really had nothing to add to the conversation. So I'm just going to touch on some things that really stood out to me regarding Wendy and Eddie's case. So obviously, the audacity of these people committing such a crime was initially kind of shocking because Eddie and Wendy have always presented themselves on the show as being extremely intelligent. Wendy was always the voice of reason, the voice of logic. She never got down and dirty with her castmates as far as like getting into cussing fights with them or physical altercations with them, pulling hair, knocking each other down, throwing things at other cast members. So she really didn't get involved with the dirty, ugly side of reality TV. She always tried to keep it real cute, keep it real cool, calm, and collected because Wendy had a reputation to uphold. She has multiple degrees, as she enjoyed telling everybody. She's very educated. She has a career outside of reality TV. She was a political commentator for a lot of the major cable news networks. She was also a professor at a very prestigious school. So she had an actual reputation to uphold. And you would wonder if she had accomplished all of these things and had all of these accolades, why in the world would she be on reality TV? I don't know. For whatever reason, she decided to go on reality TV, but she brought all of her poise. She brought all of her intelligence with her. She didn't let the perils of reality TV get to her. She knew when to step back. She always kept her cool. Like I said, I never really saw Wendy get down and dirty with another castmate. She will call out BS when she saw it. She wasn't a pushover by far. She was not a pushover. She would call out bad behavior. She would put you in your place, whether you were her friend or her enemy. She brought very important discussions to the table in the world of reality TV. The whole colorism thing, pretty privilege, all that stuff was all of those conversations were started. A lot of these conversations were started and enhanced by Wendy. Okay. Her husband, an attorney, and I also read that not only does he have a law degree, but this man also holds an engineering degree. And so he also has multiple degrees. She has multiple degrees. So these people had an actual reputation to uphold. Plus, just being parents. I think a lot of these reality TV stars forget that they're actually parents, and you need to protect your reputation, if for nothing else, for your children. Yeah. I felt like her and Eddie were trying to make good examples or trying to be good examples for their kids, their community, Wendy for women in general. And so it was, you fell in love with them. How could you not? How could you not enjoy them? And even if Wendy wasn't your favorite character, you cannot deny what she brought to the show and how she presented herself. Okay. So when I heard the news about them committing this, grand insurance fraud, of course, initially I was shocked. I was like, there's just no way. And I don't know what could have driven these people to want to commit such an act other than they were very, very, very desperate for money. Obviously, these people are not career criminals. I highly doubt that Wendy and Eddie have done this before. And if they have, not on this scale of $450,000, but I don't think that they've done this before. I don't see them as career criminals. So it was very shocking because they have ways to earn income outside of reality TV because reality TV is, I think it's dying, especially the Real Housewives. I think that is just kind of played out. Um, I don't know what else to say. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But I don't think that reality TV is what it used to be. And I don't think that the housewives themselves are held in the same regard that they used to be held years and years ago. And I don't think their money is the same as it was in the heyday of the Real Housewives. Okay, so besides the show, which I know she makes, a pretty penny on the show, they had other ways to earn income. Now, I'm not really sure why Wendy decided to leave her professorship and leave political commentary to sell candles and start a candle line or a home decor line or whatever the hell she was doing. I felt like her doing what she was doing, being a professor, doing the political commentary, I thought that brought in very decent income. And I'm pretty sure she also did like speaking engagements as well. Have no idea why she left all that behind to sell candles. Um, Also, Eddie. I don't know if Eddie was a practicing attorney the whole entire time that Wendy was on the Real Housewives of Potomac. I don't know if he left his law practice to start the cannabis business, but that also to me was confusing. And I understand that in states where it's legal, the cannabis business is extremely profitable, but I'm also assuming that it's also very high competition. So and on episode 1 of this season, season 10 of The Real Housewives of Potomac, Wendy talks about how Eddie's cannabis business is making a whole lot of money. It's extremely successful. And now that we know what we know, when I heard her say that, because I watched this after the news hit, I looked at her kind of crazy. Now I'm going to be side eyeing her the whole entire season. But when she said, "Yeah, Eddie's cannabis business is taking off. It's doing really well," I was like, okay. So it just they were making some decisions and making some moves that I didn't understand personally, but maybe there was a method to their madness. Maybe there was a method to their madness. So whatever, I just have to take it at face value that their cannabis business and her home goods business, whatever she was doing really well. But then again, that raises the question, if y'all were as successful as you portrayed to be, why in the world are you committing insurance fraud? Was it out of desperation or was it out of greed? I don't know. More than the act itself that shocked me was the stupidity of it all, because all of these degrees, all of this education, why in the world are y'all making these horrible, terrible, stupid mistakes in your crime? For example, when they call the police when they call the police after coming home from their vacation in Jamaica, they come home, they see that their home was burglarized. They call law enforcement. Law enforcement shows up. And from the press conference that the chief of police did for Carroll County and the state attorney for Carroll County, they did mention how when law enforcement arrived, they automatically were suspicious of the call. They're automatically suspicious because they claimed that their house was burglarized, but it didn't look like it was burglarized. So if your home was burglarized while you were away, right, and the robbers knew that nobody was home, that house would have looked like a hurricane went through it. With as much time that they had, because nobody was home, and obviously they didn't know that y'all were on vacation. They didn't know that you're going to be coming home any minute. But just the fact that nobody was home, I think that they would have gone through that house with a fine tooth comb. Um, I think that that house would have looked definitely ransacked, like a damn tornado hit it. It would not have looked gently touched or gently tussled, with a couple of drawers pulled out, a couple of socks hanging out, a lamp gently placed on the table, laid down on the table real gently so it didn't break. So obviously you could tell that they didn't want to ruin their actual furniture, their items. They didn't really want to do serious damage to their home to make it look realistic. So that was a red flag for law enforcement. They also talked about how the window that the Osefos claimed the robbers came through, there was no uh, shoe prints of anything. There were no shoe prints found around the window or the window sill or anywhere near the window. There was no debris from the outside, because if you are outside and you break into a house, and there's grass or dirt outside, you would think that there would be some type of outside debris inside the home, but they found none of that. It was clean and pristine around that damn window. The window wasn't shattered. It was, very carefully opened. So that also raised red flags for law enforcement. Um, then the act of so that right there, it was like, okay, y'all were trying to stage a burglary. You have no idea what the hell y'all are doing, and the fact that do y'all not watch Wendy and Eddie? Do y'all not watch Investigation ID, Investigation Discovery? Do y'all not watch any of these true crime shows, Forensic Files, any of this stuff? Because Snapped, because Y'all should have been taking notes. If y'all knew that y'all had planned that y'all wanted to do this, y'all should have been taking notes. Y'all should have been watching at least 6 months to a year's worth of true crime TV to get the hang of it, because y'all botched this seriously. So, and then wearing the evidence that you claimed was stolen. You've already filed a claim. You've already made the police report that your engagement ring was stolen. And then you showcase that same engagement ring on social media. Dumb as hell. And then trying to file multiple claims for the same items with multiple insurance companies. Now, that one, because I don't know exactly how insurance works, but I would think that you should not be able to file multiple claims or to different insurance companies for the same exact items. I don't know if insurance companies talk to each other or have a way of knowing when something has been filed through one company, then like another company will know about it. So if I make my claim through Allstate and then I go to I don't know, Progressive would be like, wait a minute, you've already filed a claim for this item with Allstate, so yeah, get out of here. I don't know, but I would think that I would be so, me as a regular layperson, I don't have a criminal mind. I would be scared to death to do something like that, because I would think that at some point it would be discovered that I filed the same claim with multiple companies on the same exact item. I would be worried about that. I would think about that before I actually did it. But I don't know why Wendy, Dr. Wendy Osefo and Eddie Osefo Esquire, why this never ran through their minds that this might be an issue. They might be alerted that you are filing the same claim for the same items with different companies. That was stupid as hell. I don't, like I said before, I don't think they're career criminals. I don't think that they've done this before, but I think that they were very, very much misled. I know that someone, at first I thought it could have been another housewife, that probably told them, hey, if you were trying to make some money, try this. I did it and it worked for me. I really thought it was somebody within her little group of reality TV stars that probably put her up on game, but really didn't give her good advice. Because everybody is saying that if you file a claim on certain items, those items, as far as you're concerned, those items no longer exist. You can't wear them, you can't display them, you can't drive them, you can't, those items in your world, in your mind, no longer exist. So Wendy, for you to put on that same damn ring and put it on social media after you claimed that it was stolen, girl, whoever gave you this advice or this idea, I kind of feel like they set you up to fail. They set you up, girl, because they didn't tell you the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts, the whys. They didn't tell you anything. They're like, yeah, girl, just tell them that your house got burglarized and they stole $450,000 worth of items. Another stupid mistake. Emailing each other information about the crime that y'all are committing. What? I mean, why are you emailing each other? And everybody has said this, and that's why I told you on the beginning, I really contemplated even doing this video, because a lot of the things that I'm saying has been said before and it sounds very repetitive. But the fact that Eddie emailed Wendy to tell her to add more items to the list to claim so that they can rack up their payout to the maximum amount that the insurance would pay them, and you're sending this to your wife through email, and you're an attorney and you know everything about evidence and electronic evidence, like, what are you doing? Even if the email was deleted, it can still be found because nothing is deleted online. Like, what the hell are these people doing? It's just mind boggling. Eddie, did you graduate at the top or at the bottom of your class? How many, like, what is happening? Anyway, and y'all are married, living together in the same home. If you're going to plan a crime, can you please, like, whisper it to each other, during pillow talk time, or, in the same, instead of using electronic digital media to discuss the crime that y'all are committing? I think that jail is the least of their worries, to tell you the truth. It's the least of their worries. I don't know if they're going to be made an example of. I have no idea. Probably. So I don't know. I can't really predict if they're going to be doing real time or if they're just going to get a slap on the hand. $450,000 is a lot of money. Um, I have a feeling that they will be serving some time in jail. I don't think it's going to be the maximum amount, which is I think 10 years or something. I highly doubt it'll be that long. But I think that they're definitely going to be doing some time, a little bit of time. But only time will tell. But I think that jail probably is the least of their worries because I don't think they're going to spend a lot of time in jail, if at all. They're going to have to worry about their life after they're done serving their sentence. That's what they're really going to have to worry about. And their life leading up to, you know, either them pleading out or leading up to the verdict. If they decide not to plead out and take it to trial, while they're still out here, out and about, they got to worry about that, their reputation out here in public. Because Wendy, you're not like a Teresa Judice who was so oblivious to what the hell her husband was doing, just signing whatever paperwork her husband put in front of her, just being really ignorant and dumb about it. You're not like a Jen Shaw who is like a criminal. She thought she was a criminal mastermind because the whole entire time that Jen Shaw was on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, the whole entire time that she was a TV personality, there was always rumors and rumblings and whispers of her being up to some shenanigans. People were always talking about how her businesses were not on the up and up and that she was, stealing social security numbers and stealing identities from the elderly. It was always a topic of conversation. So with Jen Shaw, this was her life. This was what she did. So she was like, a career criminal. That's what she did. And you're not like a Dorit where I don't know how Dorit got away with it. I don't know how in the world Dorit got away with what her and PK did. Because to me, clearly, that was also fraud. That to me clearly was not true. That whole burglary, the paid actors who were shown on the security camera with the ski masks on and the sack of items, Dorit, stop. And I talked about that ad nauseum when I was reviewing The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Yeah, Dorit, stop. That was fake and fraudulent and phony. I don't know how her and PK got away with it. So, Wendy, you had a reputation. We held you in high regard because you demanded to be held in high regard. You talked ad nauseum about your educational background, all of your degrees, all your accolades, all your accomplishments. You held yourself above the other women. You thought that you were a little bit better than everybody else. I'm not a Wendy hater, but I'm not also like, Wendy's number one fan as either. But I saw how she held herself. She was like, look, I've accomplished a lot. And this is how I view myself, and this is how you should view me. Now, season 10 is kind of starting off a bit rough for Wendy, because, people talking about how she doesn't acknowledge her friends when she's at these events. People that she's on the show with, they approach her, they'll say hi to her, how are you, her own cast members, and she just pays them dust. So I don't know what's going on with that, but it's starting off a little bit rocky with Wendy. But anyway, you held yourself in such high regard. I held you in high regard. Okay, I was impressed by Wendy and her accomplishments and the accomplishments of her husband as well. I thought their family was beautiful. I love the culture that she brought to the show. I'm glad that she wasn't just another American. She brought, culture. We learned a lot about Nigerian culture through Wendy and Eddie. And that's gone now. Her reputation is over. Now, we shouldn't convict her before the courts do. She is innocent until proven guilty. This might all be a huge misunderstanding. I don't know. Another dumb thing that they did was filing claims for items that they had returned and got full refunds for years before. That's another stupid thing that they did, but whatever. She has a reputation. She thrives on her reputation. She thrives on being Dr. Wendy Osefo. And now, girl, you're just like any other common criminal. Your reputation is shot. It's over. And I just don't know how she's going to be able to appear on camera ever again. I don't think her job is at risk per se, because I think Bravo doesn't have nothing else to go on with these housewives. Their storylines are weak and played. Everything we know now is, very, very much concocted. So I think Andy and the gang, they are just salivating right now because they can't wait for her, for all of this to blow over, for her to come back on the Real Housewives of Potomac, after everything is said and done. They are eating this up. I don't think her job is at risk. I really don't think they're going to fire her. I really do not think they're going to fire her. Because Erica Jane, or Erica, what is she, Giardi or whatever the hell? Erica Jane. I don't know how she got away with it either. But with her reputation of, the fact that you were married to a man who was taking money away from children and widows, and you were benefiting from that. They didn't fire her, and she had no sympathy, no empathy, no nothing. She was like, "Yeah, of course, yeah, my husband was getting all this money, and he allowed me to have this lifestyle, and what, and what, what are you going to do about it?" She was very unsympathetic because she wouldn't return the $750,000 pair of earrings so that the victims can get their restitution. She refused to return that. I don't know what ended up, how those earrings, I don't know if she kept them or had to give them back or what the hell happened. But when she was going through it, when her husband was being indicted and all of that, she refused to give those earrings up. So Erica Jane as well. And now, Wendy, you're part of the criminal crew of the Real Housewives. You're a part of the chain gang. It's just the stupidity of the crime is what blows my mind. Not the fact that she did this, because of the fact that I feel like probably over half of these housewives are involved in some type of fraudulent activities in order to maintain this mirage, this appearance, this facade that they are just dripping in wealth. I think the only real wealthy housewife is Lisa Vanderpump. Lisa Vanderpump. She's the only one I think that had real money. And everybody else is struggling. Everybody else is trying to keep up with the Joneses. Everybody else is trying to figure out how to maintain these fake lifestyles, either to stay on a show which is dying, or to just to keep up this reputation that they're all that. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. As soon as one Real Housewives of Potomac housewife came back, Karen Huger, she's recently been released for her DWI conviction. As soon as she's able to come back, now we're going to lose Wendy at some point, I'm pretty sure. Like I said, it might be, innocent until proven guilty. Everything is alleged. She might beat this. Who the hell knows? But more likely than not, I think she's going down. I think her and Eddie are going down. And I wonder if they're going to do with Wendy and Eddie as they did with Teresa and Joe Giudice. Have one parent serve time, release them, and then let the other parent go in and serve time so that their children can have at least one parent in the house. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, that's my little spiel on Wendy and Eddie Osefo. Good luck to them. Good luck to them. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it on your way out. Please don't forget to rate the video if you like this content, subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.